This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning, welcome back. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
We
yes.
can hear.
Okay. Okay, so you all must have got this Google Drive link. So when you click on that link, you would see all these folders and all the data related I have stored in the data. So some of the assignment which I have given on Friday was to download the sales data and work on some of the steps present in on the slides. That is one. And recorded sessions, I'm putting here. You would see the naming is like 2019 Jan and 18th. Okay, like that I'm putting it. And if I go to the slides, so I'm putting all the slides after we complete the session. Okay, now if we go to the slide, so what we did so far is, how do we get started with Tableau? That is what we looked at and have asked everyone to work on the slide number 3 and slide number 4. So anyone worked on it and facing any issues, then let me know. Or anyone wants to share, how they did, that is also fine.
Ramesh here.
Yeah.
There is a sales type which you have asked in this hands-on one and hands-on two. So I'm not able to find that sales type.
Okay. Let
Uh,
me. So which
just
data?
load
Mhm.
that sales data. I'm not able to find the sales type in that.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me see. Let me see. I have loaded the sales data and I'm going to the sheet because at this page I am on the data sources page where we see the data sales type. You see the sales type?
Right, because I may not drag down. So instead of sales type,
Ah,
I have taken the channel type and done this particular
okay.
assignment.
Okay, okay, that's fine. So if there are a lot of columns, you would see this scroll bar. So when you scroll down, you would see, the columns. But it's fine. But anyway, like you have used another column and you did it, that's fine.
Right, because I have used the instead of sales type, I have used the channel type and completed that particular assignment.
Okay, okay, okay. Great, great. That's also fine. Because we just want to know, the steps irrespective of the column. So column is not important when we are learning. So that's fine. So anyone else, anyone had any other thing, right? So now whenever you get any requirement, like in the companies, if you get a project saying, okay, this is you get the input data in Excel. Now you know how to, work on that Excel data in Tableau, right? How do you load it? And based on the requirement, then you would use certain columns and build the charts accordingly, right? So we have not gone, you know, into detail on learning each and every chart. We will be doing that. Okay, but at least you know how to, build a bar chart. How do you drag the columns? How do you make use of this marks card, right? Now, today, so we will be learning about, there is something called as sets in Tableau. Sets, and then you will be learning about how do we create the calculated field. So how in SAS you create in a data step, you write, let's say salary is equal to 5,000. So you're creating a new column called salary and the value within it is 5,000. So that is very straightforward in SAS. So how do you do the same thing? If you want to create new columns, we can create those calculated fields. That is one. Now sets. Now, whenever we work on the data, let's say the requirement is not to work on the complete data. So how do you filter the data in SAS? Can someone answer it? So let's say I have 1,000 rows of data and I want to filter, some of the rows based on a condition. How do we do that? Anything which is coming to your mind, so don't hesitate in answering. If it's wrong, that's also fine. So AD is saying first OBS, okay. But does that based on a condition? Let's say my statement is I want only, those rows where the salary is, more than certain amount. Yeah, Purandar is saying use a filter option. So what I'm basically saying is you generally write these, right? So I'm just taking this SAS example because I know most of you have done SAS, but even if you have not done SAS, that's fine. We will see. Just to relate to it, I'm giving an example. Let's say you write, the data step, set, the old data set which you are reading. So then over here you would use this where condition. Na? So let's say where salary is greater than 5,000, something like this. So in the new data set, you would only have those rows where salary is greater than 5,000. Getting it? So in the similar way, there is a concept of sets in Tableau by using which from the entire data you can create a subset of data. So sets you can remember like S and S. S, sets and subset of the starting S. So sets are used to create subset of data. Okay, now how do we create the set? So let's say I'm going to the new sheet and when I'm dragging this customer location onto the rows, you see all these locations, customer locations, AP, Bristol, London, Mumbai, New York, and Washington. All the values it is showing up. Now, this is of the entire data, right? You're just looking at all the values. Now, how do you create a set? How do you create a subset? Now, I'll click on this customer location and you will come here, create, and there is an option for set. I repeat, whichever column you decide, okay, you want to subset the data on, you would select that in the example of salary, where salary greater than 50,000. So I choose salary over there, but here I'm choosing customer location. So let's say I'm clicking on this arrow, going to create, and clicking on this set. So I'm clicking on the set. Now you want to give a name to the set. So let's say I'm giving any name you can give, customer location, set. Now, in this set, whenever you are creating a set, there are three options you will see. There are three ways of creating a set. So the first one is general, then condition, then top. Now I am in the general. Let's look at the general first, okay? Now I'm selecting, these things, AP, Mumbai, let's say. I'm selecting these two values and saying okay. Now, what you see is on the left hand side, you are seeing a new section, sets. We used to always have dimensions and measures when we load the data initially, but you're also seeing these sets. So this is just like any other column in dimension and measure. Now, let's say if I drag this, I'll come to what is this in and out. So what I'll do is I'll click on this and I would say show members in set. Now what do you see here, AP and Mumbai? Why I'm getting only these two values, guys? Anyone wants to answer? Why I'm seeing only those two values? Yeah, so we have selected only those two. So customer location is the original column. In that we have all AP, Mumbai, Bristol, Mumbai, London, New York, Washington, right? But by using which we have created a subset where we have selected by using general tab. You have selected these two, that's why you are having that. Now let me remove these things. Now let me drag this customer location, the original column. Okay, now let me drag in any numeric column. Let's say I drag sales cost. Now there is a section called filters here. We have seen that. So whenever you want to, show filter for the user to select what they want. Now what I'll do is the new set which I have created, I'll go and put it on the filters. Now, whenever you dragged and put it onto the filters, it is only showing two values because it is getting filtered with this data. And in this column, in the set column, we only have two values. That's why it's showing two. Now, over here, we can also do something like show in out of set. Let me repeat what I did. I'm clicking on this arrow and saying show in out of set, and you are saying this in and out. These are the two options. When you selected those two options, you are seeing everything. Now let me go to this arrow and say show filter. So basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to give filter option to the users where they will go and select, this in. In means the rows which are included. Remember like that. Include. In means included. Out means the rows which are excluded from the set, which are not present in the set. So when you say IN included, you're only saying AP and Mumbai. Now, this is the way. So you cannot write those, where conditions and all that stuff in Tableau. So if you want to do any filtering on any particular column, you would create a set based on that. Now there are two different other ways of doing it, but let me give couple of minutes for you all to do this same task. So those who have not loaded the sales data, the very first step, load the sales data, and the data is present in this data folder in the Google Drive. The sales data. Load that sales data, download it, and follow these steps. Now, when you're looking at my screen, always, follow like, okay, I've dragged customer location, sales cost onto you also do the same thing. Then I tried creating a set, and you know how to create a set now. And then play with this in out option. Let me know if you face any difficulties. So I'll give couple of minutes here. Just give it a try. So don't worry, you're not writing any code. Even if you go wrong, that's fine. So see, the good way of learning all these tools is don't worry about, okay, if I drag this column onto here instead of here, what will happen? You do it and see what is happening to that. That is a good way of learning these visualization tools. And anyways, you're not writing any code. Even if you go wrong somewhere, you can always remove that column, right? So you would see different use cases of using set when we will be, working on the projects. I'll be giving the project, but now our objective should be, okay, if anyone asks about set, you should be able to answer them. Okay, what is this set, and for what purpose we create this set, its subset, what it does basically. So use cases you will see in the project. So each and every piece, every topic which we are learning, you will use in the project. But before that, you should clearly understand how do we perform those operations. Okay, so those who are done, can you all ping in the chat window? Done or still pending?
She know in my screen it's means instead of in and out, all the options of AP, Bristol, London, Mumbai are coming in the set in the filter. So
Yeah,
what's wrong I am doing here?
yeah. You go and click on the show in out of set,
Show in out of set. Okay.
and then you do show filter. Until and unless you go and click on the show filter, you would not see those filter options on the right.
Yeah. And under general, I need to select in and out though both. Uh,
No,
I have selected show. Hmm.
here you're saying,
Uh, I'm saying I'm able to see the filters. I have already selected the option uh, that has show filter,
hmm
but I'm not
so,
able to look at the in and out option. That I have seen that which you have shown that I am also able to see that I need to select show in and out.
hmm.
But once I do it, that screen
Yeah,
is my screen.
okay. Okay, once you do that, you have to do another step. You have to do show filter. Click on that arrow and do show filter. Otherwise, you
Okay,
would not see those in out.
okay. Yeah, fine. Got it.
See, any column, rather any column from the dimensions or measures, you would not see filters until and unless you do a show filter. So let's say I'm clicking on this arrow and I'm doing show filter, then only I would see that filter option. Otherwise, you will not see it.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, that means the purpose of creating set is only to filter out the data as per our requirement. Like
Correct.
we want to
Correct.
show the AP
Yeah.
and washing data. Yeah.
Right. So, because in SAS, you could have created a new data set, right? With that filter data. But here, the data is only one, like sales. I cannot create another data copy of it. So what we are doing, there is a concept of a set by using which you are filtering out data and creating that column.
Okay.
Everyone is done or anyone is still doing? Vamshi, okay, I'm only seeing few people's ping in the chat. What about other Siddharth, Shrinu, Turaka, Shiva, Shanmuka, Raj, Navya, Krishna, Paramesh? Are you all done? Okay, Krishna is done. Let me wait for a minute. Okay, okay, fine. Now, you know, let me duplicate this. Let me duplicate this sheet 5. So you are seeing the duplicated version. Now, the set which you have created, if I want to go and edit that set, I'll click on this and you will see an option edit set. I repeat, you will go to the set, you will go to that column, click on this arrow, and you will see the option edit set. Now we created that set by using this general, right? Now I'm selecting all. I don't want to use the general because what is happening in the general is you are going manually and selecting it. I want this, right? Now how do we do the same thing like in a data step where salary is greater than 5,000, right? Based on certain column, we want to filter it out. Here we are not doing like that. We're just manually going and selecting what we want. Now there is a condition tab. Now you want to filter customer location and you're creating a set. Now the set, the filtering should happen based on a condition. So I went to the condition. Now on based on what condition? So I want, all those customer locations where the sales cost and what type of calculation you want to do. You don't have to write any code. So I'm looking at, I want all the rows where sales cost, sum of sales cost is greater than 5,000. So you can relate to this example, how you wrote, right? Where salary greater than 5,000. So here I am doing where sales cost greater than, but you have to give, what type of aggregation you want to do it. I want to do sum of sales cost. Sometimes you want to do count of sales cost, something like that. Now you do okay, and I want to have this sales cost numbers also. So I'll just drag it and put it onto the labels and you would see. Right. Now if I go and click on in, you would see all the locations where sales cost is greater than 5,000. Let me go and look at out. Out means which are excluded from the set. You would see only there is one location where the sales cost is 4870, right? So the condition tab is useful when you want to create a set based on a condition. Remember that. Can you all try this also? Duplicate the sheet and go and edit the set. That's it. And play with it.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a small doubt, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, tell me about, I did not understand the concept of included and excluded, in and out of.
Okay, okay. See, you understood what is a set and how do we create those two?
Yeah, everything is okay, sir. But what is the concept of in and out option?
Hmm. hmm, hmm. Okay, okay. So see, this in and out, sometimes, let's say you are looking at, certain cities, okay, you are looking at certain, you have all the list of cities, but instead of, and you are always interested in, there are 50 cities, you are always interested in 10 cities. Okay, if you give those cities as, let's say, do we have that? Okay, we don't have. So if you give all those cities, it will be a filter. You will manually go and select those 10. But sometimes some requirement comes, right? You want to select, in, by using which I should always get the list of cities which I'm always interested in, those 10 cities at one go. When you select out, you will get the rest of the cities, right? So if you have, if I go here, so if you have all the, imagine if these are the cities, okay, city names. So you always, when you open the dashboard, and imagine if this is the filter, so you're always interested in, this, you're always interested in this, you're always interested in this, you will manually go and select, right? But what is the use of creating, those in out is, in you will create a set which will include the ones which you want. That means when you select in, directly you would see all the cities which you are interested in. When you select out, it will show rest of the ones. Got it? There are other use cases also we will see when we reach those projects. But at least you got this idea concept. Okay. Okay, so the condition is done. Now let me duplicate this again. And how do we delete the sheet? You will right click and say delete, okay? Whenever you want to delete any sheet, any chart. Okay. Now I'm going to the set again.
Shinu, sorry to interrupt. One question.
Mhm.
Uh, my data is coming as yours is coming, and if I select filter as in, and all the data is coming, but at for the one country the label is missing, and I'm not finding the option to add label in it. I got one option, mark label, but it's selected as automatic. If I select always show, it grayed out or grays out others and highlight that one which I selected, but otherwise label is not coming in that
Like this
one.
missing.
Uh,
Like when you're
yeah, that,
selecting.
yeah, that is fine that it is highlighting it, but like this, like it is presented right now, data is not coming for Brazil. My label is not coming for Brazil. For other countries, it's coming. Uh,
Okay, can you show your screen? I'll make you presenter.
Give me a minute,
Let's
because
yeah,
I'm
right?
on logged in on my phone and I have
Okay,
opened my
okay.
laptop. Just give me a
Mm-hmm.
minute.
And there was another question, it seems. Let me look at the chat. Where are we defining that this should be filtered for in? Yeah. So when you are creating, so that you are defining when you are creating a set, right? So when you went to, this customer location, and when you went to this set, so why did we select, certain values? Because we want to include. So those you select, that will come under in. Those you did not select, that will come under out. Now by using general, you are manually going and selecting, but by using condition, based on a particular condition, you're not going and selecting it. So whichever rows which are satisfying this condition, those will be in, others will be in out. Got it?
Shinu, I will ask you tomorrow because
Okay, okay, fine. That's fine. Yeah,
it's
tomorrow
not
also you can
working
ask.
on my laptop. Yeah, yeah, I will show it to you tomorrow.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to the set and I'm saying edit set, and you understood what is general, you understood what is condition. Now there is also another tab for top. So you must have seen like some of the requirements, like you want, who are my top 10 customers or who are my bottom 10 customers. But how do we define top and bottom based on certain condition, right? You want top 10 customers based on sales, or you want top 10 customers based on profit, or you want top 10 customers based on annual revenues. What is it? Right? So Tableau has given us that feature directly. So you would say top and you would say by field, and you have two options here, top and bottom. You want to do which analysis? Okay, I want top. You will change here. You want top 5 or top 10 or how many? So let's say I want top 2. I want top 2, but based on which column, which numerical column? It should be there, right? A sales or profit or quantity. Now I want based on sales cost. And what type of aggregation you want to do it? I want to do sum of sales cost. So from the entire data, from the customer locations, give me those customer locations where the sales cost is high. And how many I want? The top two. Do okay. So when you select included, so we want to look at the ones which are included, right, from that top. So what do you see? Earlier there were some other rows also, like 3 to 4 rows, but here it's showing only top two, which is Mumbai and Washington, where the sales cost is higher. Can you all try this top? So there is different way of using these sets also in a calculated field. I'll show that in some time. But at least do this. Okay, done. Now, and it's always not necessary, to show in out. Okay, so if I remove this from the filters, it will show everything, but I'm using in the rows, I'm using customer location, the original column. So instead of original column, I can use this set just like a column, but by default it shows in out. So what you will do is click on this arrow. There are two options always. If you want in and out option, in that way you would select this, or else if you want, actual values to be displayed, you will say show members in set. But now, it will only show, since you're using set now, it will only show those top two. It will not show others, because On the rows, you have dragged that actual set. I have not dragged the original customer location.
Should you please repeat it again?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, earlier it was like this, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So original column, we have dragged it onto the rows. And when you drag a set onto the filter, set will always give two options, like whether you want to show filter in terms of in and out, or you want to show the actual values. Show members in main set means you want to show the actual values. So when we did show in out, and when you go and do show filter, it will show in and out,
Hmm.
right? Now let me remove all these things. Now you can directly use a set just like any other column in dimensions and measures. So I'm dragging this set onto the rows directly, but as you know that sets by default gives you in and out. That's why it changed to in and out. But you don't want in out, you want the actual values, actual names to be displayed. So you'll go to the arrow and say show members in set. So instead of in and out, you would see the actual data. You're saying Mumbai and Washington. So these are the two customer locations which are top two in terms of sales cost. Got it?
Okay, means the same thing, but we are doing it in another manner.
Right, right. So
Because
just show
here
because you
also
don't
we are.
have in your, yeah, in your
Hmm.
mind you should not have it is only used for in and out. No. That's why I've showed this.
Okay.
Okay. Now if this is done, so what I'll do is I'll go to the new sheet. Now in SAS, creating a new column, you know how to do it. In the data step, you will give the column name is equal to, the value, right? Now, in SAS, you will go to Analysis tab and click on Create Calculated Field. Calculated field is nothing but the new column which you're trying to create. I repeat, you'll go to Analysis tab and say Create Calculated Field. Now, I'll click on it. You would see this window. Now we need to give some name, right? So by default it gives calculation one, but I want to give some meaningful name to the column. So I would say, let's say, profit is equal to. So you will not write like inside how you write profit is equal to 100. Here the syntax is not like that. So you're not writing any code. So you will give the name, and in this space you will write what is the value, or in this space you will write a formula, if then else conditions and all that. But let us look at simple things first. So you're trying to create a new column called profit, and what is the value which is being stored is 100. Now you see at the bottom the calculation is valid. So if you do any mistakes, it will show the calculation contains errors, right? Now let me clear this out. You see calculation is valid. Now I'll say apply. I'll say okay. So where is that column got created? Profit got created in dimension or measure? Where is that column?
Under measure.
Under measure. So everyone says under measure. Now can you all guess why it did not go to dimension, why it went to measure?
Because you have added quantitative value.
Right, it's a number, it's a numeric, right?
Mm,
It's a numeric. So Tableau is smart enough to put it under measure because it says that, okay, it is a numeric column. Now let's say I'm going to analysis, create calculated field, and I would say profit. Let's say profit 2, because I already have profit, right? Now, if I put like this, in the single quotation, I'm giving 100, calculation is valid, apply, and okay. Where did it go? This column. So why did it go into dimension? Because it's a character. So in SAS also you must have learned, right? Anything which you put in the quotation, that becomes a character. If you don't put in the quotation, the single quotes, that becomes a numeric. So similar concept. So okay. Now there's another way of creating calculated field. So you click on any of the column and go to create, and you will see create calculated field. This is another method. I repeat. So the first method is, you can go to that option by going to analysis and create calculated field. Will give you this box, same box. Another way is, you can click on any of the column. Go
Very
to
good.
calculate.
लाइफ निकलती जा रही है निकलती जा रही है क्या लाइफ
Can you go on mute, Pooja? Okay, thanks. Now this is the second option for creating a calculated field. But here the thing is, whenever you click on any column and say create calculated field, that column comes in the formula. You remove it, that's fine. You give a name and then you choose to write any value or any of the condition. But you at least understood in the interview, if they ask if you get any requirements in your project, how do you create a calculated field? Now how, where are those options to find. Let's say I'm going here and I would say sales 10%. So sales cost 10% of the value. Now I want to write, basically what I want is 10% of this sales cost. I want it in this sales underscore 10. So you will write a formula, right? You will do that calculation. So I want sales cost. So whenever you will start typing it, it will show up those columns. So sales cost, and the column, it automatically puts it into the square bracket. Okay. Now 10% of it, star 0.10, calculation is valid. So there is one topic on, what kind of different, functions are available. So on the right hand side, if you see, all these are the different functions available. Just like in SAS, substring, scan, index, right, tran, wrd. There are a lot, many functions available here. We will discuss those things. So don't worry about those. Okay. So you can minimize this. You can expand. So here I have written this. So how in SAS we will write, basically you will write like this. Sales underscore 10 is equal to. But here it's not required like that because the column name you are giving at the top. This is value, and to apply and okay. Yeah, data types automatically derives from the value. So if you in your calculation, if it is returning you the numeric, it will assign numeric data type. If it is returning any character, it will assign character. But obviously you can change the data types also. You see, like if I go here, you can convert it to dimension, convert it into categorical. You will see all those options. You have those options here also. Because sometimes what happens is, let's say employee ID. Employee ID is a number of each and every employee, but there's no meaning to that employee ID, right? You will not go and do sum You will not go and do average, right? Min, max. It's just a static number which uniquely identifies each row, each employee. But since it's on number, it puts under measures. So you want that as a character, because whatever numeric column you drag, it will do that computation, right? It will apply some function. In a similar way, it will apply that function on the employee ID. You don't want to do that. So what you do, you change that to dimension by using this arrow. Okay, so it's already 7:50. So any other questions? So we will continue on this calculated fields formulas tomorrow as well. So any questions? If I go back to the slides, right? So what I want everyone to do is, you have already done, these. So there are also some assignments on the sets and calculation. So sets, in the sets, you should be able to at least solve the hands-on number 3, guys. Okay, hands-on number 4, don't worry about it. We will discuss tomorrow for the rest of the things. At least try this hands-on number 3 and do the practice. Okay, it will not take much time. Just spend 10-15 minutes before tomorrow, whenever you get time today. I'm not expecting everyone to spend, hours and hours. It's not required. Just spend 10-15 minutes, try those options which we saw today, work on this hands on, and you will be done. Okay, so I'll put the recorded sessions in that and we will connect back tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.